Guys, I had to stop at that part. So what does the past perfect mean? As for the past simple, it was clear. The action ended in the past, okay, at a particular time in the past. What about the past perfect? It had been a great holiday before the rain started. So actually the past perfect relates or is about the more previous action. Yani when we have two actions in the past, for the one that preceded, we use the past perfect. By the time Tim got home, James had already left. Did Tim meet Jones? Tell me. Could Tim see Jones while Jones left before Tim arrived?
من حط ايديه.
Did Tom see Jones while he left before Jones, I mean left before Tim arrived? I just want you to understand the concept of the perfect form. Guys, please note that the past perfect is about the action that preceded one other action in the past. Yani we are talking about two actions, one of them before the other. For the one that preceded, we use the past perfect. This is all. For example, by the time, this is George Matar, I guess, is joining. By the time George joined, we had already explained the past simple. So what happened before? Did George joined? Well, we explained the past simple before.
Joined.
لا.
No, we had explained the lesson before.
Before he joined, this is it. Let me add this example. By the time George joined,
مس السكرين معلقه جنب.
دكتور مش مبين.
ما مبينه هلا، ما كان ماشي الفيديو. طيب أنا هلا I'm sharing an example on the chat box. By the time George joined, we had already explained the past simple. Tell me, what happened before? Could George see the past simple ولا he had just joined? يعني أنا عم شوف إنه نحن we had explained the past simple before George joined.
يعني George, he didn't know the explanation of this lesson.
Okay, so the past perfect is the action that preceded. يعني the past perfect بيسبق the past simple. So the past perfect goes before the past simple. This is it. يعني أنا when I mean two actions in the past, for the one that preceded, we use the past perfect. This is the concept of the past perfect. Is that clear?
Yes.
اوكي هلا انتوا عم بتقولوا انه هلا ما شايفين شيء، لكن البدايه بالفيديو ما كنتوا شايفين؟
No, doctor.
طب ما معقول، وانا سالتكم من البدايه لكن شو عم تسمعوا كمان؟ مش مقبول. هلا you can't see it؟
Yes.
طب ما قلتوا لي من الاول يس كمان. طيب ما رح ارجع اكيد بالفيديو لانه البدايه كانت مع ال past simple. We are already familiar with the past simple. We will continue with the past perfect. فاذا what's the concept of the past perfect? It shows one action happened before another. So we have two past actions. For the one that preceded, we use the past perfect. As we can see from that example, by the time Tim got home, James had already left. So what happened before? could Jones see them ولا he left before?
No, he left before.
This is it. This is it. Okay, this is what you need to know about the past perfect. Yeah, let's continue.
However, the use of past perfect orders these events to show that this happened before this. The clause using past perfect describes an action that happens at a time earlier than the clause using simple past. Past perfect can also be used for conditional sentences. For example, if I had studied harder, I would have passed my test. Now let's move on to past continuous tense. We form this tense with the past tense form of the verb to be, plus the present participle of the verb. For example, they were watching the football. She was working hard. Note that to be is conjugated to match the subject. Past continuous is used for a few purposes. Firstly, it can show that two events in the past were happening at the same time. For example, Kate was painting while Toby was gardening. Past continuous can also be used to show that an event in the past was interrupted by something. For example, we were watching a movie when the power went out. Or, everyone was chatting until the concert started. The final past tense is past perfect continuous. This tense is formed using had been, followed by the present participle of a verb. For example, Sam was pleased her daughter had been working hard in school. It had been raining for hours when we arrived. The car had been running well until last month. Similar to past perfect continuous shows that one action in the past happened before another action in the past. The difference is that whereas past perfect emphasizes the completion of an event, past perfect continuous emphasizes the ongoing nature of an event. To better illustrate this, let's have a look at two sentences. The first written in past perfect, the second written.
Guys, past perfect continuous shows one action happened before another. Yes, that's true. But the emphasis is on what? On the ongoing nature of an event. Yani this was recurrent in the past. I had given him advice before the test. How many? I had given him advice. So it was a piece of advice.
Once.
One advice, it only happened once. However, I had been giving him advice before the test. This means I was telling him or giving him some recommendations, some advice, okay, some hints, some clues. So it was recurrent. This over and over, very good. It was repeated. More importantly is to understand the difference between action verbs and state verbs. As I told you concerning the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. يعني when the verb is a state verb, أكيد we never use it with the ing. يعني we use the past perfect simple with state verbs, and we use the past perfect continuous with action verbs. This is what you need to know.
Past perfect continuous. I had given him advice before the test. In this sentence, the action, giving advice, begins and ends in the past. The use of past perfect emphasizes the completion of the action. I had been giving him advice before the test. In this sentence, the action also begins and ends in the past. However, the use of past perfect continuous emphasizes that it was an ongoing action. Another example. I had hoped she would agree. I had been hoping she would agree. Past perfect continuous emphasizes the action of hoping was ongoing. Now it's time to have a go at applying your knowledge of the 4 past tenses.
So actually, this was the exercise we stopped at before. I hope this video is helpful to you. We cannot